Hello everyone. I'm back from BCS. Toronto? Gosh. My brain is still kind of fried. But I'm doing good. I thought I'd do a little bit of a recap on what the heck happened while I was in Toronto. Because some stuff happened. Some interesting stuff happened. So I thought I'd talk about it on stream. Give me just a sec to make sure all my social media thingies are working properly. And I've been wondering if I should post this. Yeah, okay, I'll post it. So I was also given all these pin badges. Well, some of these are mine. Some of these are mine. But I was given a bunch of pin badges and stuff. Let me just. There we go. Okay. That should be good. I think everything is good. But yeah, I'm back from BCS Toronto. I did not do well. But we'll talk about that later. I think the first thing we're gonna do is talk about... So I was in Toronto for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a little bit of Monday, which is when I flew back. I was traveling there with my teammates, Namian and Krillin. His username on Bushi Navi is like Dardar Binks. So if you fought someone named Dardar Binks over the weekend, that's my teammate. But I'm gonna just call him Krillin during this video, this stream, because it's probably easier. But yeah, I also need to look up the name of the store we went to because I completely forgot. But long story short, the three of us traveled together to Toronto. We also had a bunch of other friends that were traveling to Toronto, which I'll talk about later. So the three of us traveled together, and then we have another group of card players. They're mainly Vanguard players, but like one of them also plays. Well, the other Vanguard players also play Weiss Schwarz, but Weiss Schwarz isn't their main game. Their main game is Vanguard, but they do have some Weiss Schwarz players there. So they traveled with their group, and I traveled with my group to Toronto. I'm not sure what day they landed or whatever, but we were there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And the first thing that happened was, of course, we all got on the plane. Our flight was pretty normal. Nothing weird happened. And then we landed in Toronto, and we headed to where we were staying. So... I gotta make sure I know the name correctly, because I want to make sure I do this correctly. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I didn't really know what to talk about during the stream, so I thought I'd open up all these pin badges, cam badges. These cam badges are what you get for participating in BCS, so I'll open these up while talking. So, Namian, Krillin, and I arrived at our accommodations. And the place was nice. We arrived a little bit early. So like we weren't allowed to check in yet, but we were allowed to drop off our bags and stuff. So Namian and Dardar dropped off their stuff, and I dropped off my stuff. Well, sort of. I sort of dropped off my stuff, and I'll explain why later. So we dropped our first stuff. I forgot what time we landed, but we were gonna go get some food. Namian had... This isn't the secret one. I think that one is on the list. Namian wanted us to go to like the Chinatown area in Toronto, and it was like a 30-minute walk. I was in pain, and the reason I said I kind of dropped off my stuff was because I forgot to take my cards out of my bag. I completely forgot. Woo! Okay, this is the mascot for this season. I'm saying I sort of dropped off my stuff was because I dropped off most of my stuff, but I forgot to drop off my cards. I had like 3 decks in my bag. I was walking through Toronto, and I was in pain. Namian picked a place that was like 30 minutes away from our like hotel and stuff. So duplicate, no. So I was walking. I was getting tired. We finally arrived in Chinatown. There was a lot of stuff, and we passed by this card shop. I did not know the name of the card shop. I just saw like a door and a staircase with like Weiss Schwarz on the window. No, it's the same one. Okay, so I think there's 8 different ones. Let me pull up the website. there's 8 different ones. So 7 are shown on the website and 1 is not shown. So we passed by a card shop. We didn't go in because we were hungry, so we went to go get food. And I was still stupid tired. Ooh, I was stupid tired because I was carrying more luggage than I should have been. I don't know why they like, I think they had like their cards in their like luggage or something. Ah, cute. But I didn't have my cards in my luggage. I had my cards in my carry-on. So it was in my cards were in my purse, and instinctively I always just carry my purse everywhere. So I was tired. We're like, we're gonna get food. We got some nice food at this like Chinese place because it was Chinatown. Oh no! Got some nice food because it was your Chinatown. And then we were just walking around looking for a place for dessert, and Makeine and Krillin were like, let's just check out the card shop. Makeine had been there before. I think he went there last time with another buddy. This was when I couldn't go to Toronto that year. So I'm not sure if Krillin was with him that time. I don't think Krillin was. But Makeine and our buddy George went to Toronto. I think it's the same one. So Makeine and our buddy George apparently had visited the card shop before, but I hadn't. So we decided to pop in. I wasn't really expecting much because Makeine said that like when he went in, there wasn't really anything there, or anybody there. But this time there was a bunch of people playing Weiss Schwarz, and I was like, huh, are people here getting ready for BCS? Which makes sense. But it's also weird because, as I said, Makeine went there before, like 2 years ago, and there weren't really any Weiss players there that day. So I don't know, but there was a bunch of Weiss players there. I'm missing so many still. But yeah, there was a bunch of Weiss players there. Makeine and Krillin were just checking out the shop, and they're like, hey, you have your cards with you. You should go get a game in for practice and stuff, because you're the one with the least amount of practice. And it's true. Of the 3 of us, I was the one with the least amount of practice going into Toronto because paperwork. I've been busy with paperwork, and I hadn't had that much practice. So they're like, hey, you have your cards with you. Ask for a game. We're gonna check out the shop, see what's there to buy, talk with the shop owner and stuff like that. So that's what we did. Hey Zira, how are you? So yeah. I was playing some games. Of course, the first player I fought had to be Krillin from the hit anime. Our buddy, his nickname is Krillin. His nickname is Krillin because he's a little bit short in stature, but he's very, very chill, very, very cool, like Krillin from Dragon Ball. So Krillin, our buddy Krillin's a little short in stature, but he's super duper awesome and cool, like the actual Krillin in Dragon Ball. So we call him Krillin. So I was playing some games. Well, Makeine and Krillin were talking with the card shop owner, who I assume he's the card shop owner. Like, I wasn't listening into their conversation, but when we were talking like to him later, he seemed to know like the ins and outs of the entire store. So I'm gonna assume it's the owner. And he goes by, hello. I think if I remember correctly, his name was like Calvin or whatever. I'm not sure if he's the actual owner, but he seemed like he was the owner based off everything he was talking about. So yeah, I was having some games with the locals, and Krillin and Makeine were talking to the owner, or presumed owner. My first game was against a frequent player. I was like, no, this deck counters me. And one of the guys at the locals were like, huh, that means you're only playing one of 2 decks. And it's like, you're either playing Project Sekai or you're playing Overlord. Of course. I'm on Overlord. I've been on Overlord for the past 3 years. I probably won't be on any other deck for the rest of my life. But yeah, I played against the player. I played against the guy. He was on Overlord. I was on Overlord. He was on Free Reign. So there was that. And then I overheard the conversation, and they're like, what? There's so many players here today. Is this how many Weiss players you get normally? And it turned out there were so many Weiss players in the shop that day because it was Lunar New Year Cup. So that's why there were so many players at the store that day. It was Lunar New Year Cup. So we had food. We didn't really have anything much planned for the rest of the day. We were just gonna chill. That went out the window. That went out the window immediately. Because I wanted to stay and play for the Lunar New Year promo. Ah, drat! I didn't put it here. It's in my box. Wait, give me a second. I gotta go grab it. Yeah, no. Okay, hold on. Give me just a sec. I gotta go grab the Lunar New Year thingy. I didn't open it yet. Okay. There. So yeah, it was Lunar New Year Cup, and Nami and Darren, sorry, name drop, Krillin, Nami and Krillin, didn't have their stuff on them. As I said, they left everything back where we were staying. I just happened to have my deck on me because I was a dum-dum and left it in my bag and always carry my purse with me. So, lots of players there for Lunar New Year Cup. And what happened was, Nami and Krillin were like, oh, we're 30 minutes away from our accommodations. We'll just buy TDs and enter since you want the promo so bad. Because they were talking to the card shop owner, they're like, oh, we're not from around here. We're here from New York for BCS. Our hotel is like 30 minutes away. We'll just buy some TDs to enter the tournament to get the promo, and that's it. Dude, we just are like, we're strangers. We're strangers. Like, I heard that people in Canada are ridiculously nice, but like, this is crazy. The players there offered to lend Namian and Krillin decks for the tournament. Like, we don't know them. We've been in this spot for like maybe like 30 minutes max. I played like one game. Like, that's so freaking nice of them to offer to lend their decks to us. I'm just gonna say this, like, I live in New York City. Card players here can be vicious sometimes. Like I would not, even though like my Overlord deck is like super duper low rarity, I would not lend my deck to some strangers that have come out of town for a tournament. You know what I'm saying? And like, these guys, like, their decks weren't just like low rarity, you know, like they had foils in their deck. And they were willing to lend out their decks to complete strangers who just arrived at their local spot like 30 minutes ago. Like, that's gotta be like one of the kindest things ever. And like the card shop owner was like, hey, if you wanna buy TDs from me, you know, I won't charge you like ridiculous outlandish prices for them and stuff. So yeah, like that I've never seen before happen. This is also my first time ever going to like a local card shop that's not in my state, and like participating and stuff. Because I do go to BCS Texas and stuff, and BCS Texas was held at like Game Guys for like how long? I'm not sure. But like last BCS Texas, it wasn't held at Game Guys. But Game Guys is also like a local spot, but I didn't like go there to play card games like the day before, you know what I'm saying? So this was like my first ever time like throwing myself into someone else's local card shop tournament thing. Which was really, really funny. And like this spot, like it was like when we walked by it, all we saw was like a staircase and a window with like stickers on it that's like Weiss Schwarz, Vanguard, and whatever. All right, so it doesn't look like what I would consider a card shop to be for New York standards. It didn't look like a New York card shop, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain what a New York card shop looks like, but like like it didn't look like a typical New York card store that I was used to. Like this spot was like very, very long. Like it was a very long room. It wasn't a square room. It was like a rectangular room that was very, very long, and there was no windows. And there were just like tables lined up against the wall. There's like a bathroom, like some cute stickers, sleeves, and like all the way in the back is where like the main like shopping like section is, like with the cards and stuff. And it didn't feel like a card shop in like the best way possible. It felt like I was in my high school at my high school anime club. It felt like I was in my high school anime club. Like the room was just like tables, a long room, no windows, people just chilling out. It didn't feel like a store at all. It was just very, very like cozy. Like it was like the room was just very, very cozy and didn't seem like a store. It is 100% a store. The name of the store, which I probably should have started with, the name of the store is Go for Game. And they're like in the like Toronto Chinatown neighborhood kind of thing. But yeah, the Go for a Game, I didn't expect to go in there and actually stay for Lunar Cup, but I ended up staying for Lunar Cup. And Namian and Krillin decided, no, we're not gonna borrow your decks. What if we break something? What if we split one of your foils or something? When does Lunar New Year Cup start? And Lunar New Year Cup wasn't going to start for like another 3 hours or so. So they're like, hey Perry, you should probably get some games in. You wanna stay, you okay staying here while we go back to our hotel, which is like 30 minutes away to get our stuff? And I was like, sure, you guys go. I'll talk with the locals, I'll play some games with the locals while you guys go grab your stuff. I was talking with the locals, the local card game players. They were so chill. It's like, I like, okay, the guys at my locals are very chill, and the guys at Go for Games are very, very chill. It felt like my locals and an anime club mixed together. But anyway, Namian and Krillin went back to the hotel to go grab their stuff, to grab their decks. I stayed, played a few games with Overlord. While I was playing my games, I realized something. I don't have Canadian cash on me. The Lunar New Year Cups I participated in New York before had like a $10 entrance fee. So I was like, oh drat, I don't have Canadian cash on me. Excuse me. And there are some card shops that don't take credit card. I did have my credit card with me. And there are some shops, there were some shops here in New York, card shops in New York that only take cash. So I was like, oh drat, I don't have cash. Hey, player, Bandori player. I think it was against the Bandori guy. I ended up playing against Bandori later. I was like, hey, do they accept credit card? Because I don't have Canadian cash for the entrance fee. And he was like, there's no entrance fee. I was like, what? What do you mean there's no entrance fee? Yeah, the Lunar New Year Cup at Go for Game had no entrance fee. There was no entrance fee, and I was in complete shock because like my locals, when we like the Lunar New Year Cup has an entrance fee, the monthly shop tournament has an entrance fee, but no, Go for Games' Lunar New Year Cup had no entrance fee. And I was in like complete shock. Like this is not something that happens in New York. I'm not sure if other card shops are like that too when they run their locals, but as far as I know, the shops in New York run entrance fee for everything. Like, I'm trying to think of WGP, we also pay entrance fee, but like Lunar New Year Cup monthly tournament, we definitely pay entrance fee. Okay? Yeah, friendly players that are willing to lend their decks to guys from out of country that just walked in, and card shop owner that doesn't charge entrance fee for Lunar New Year Cup, which is nuts. Um, as I said, I'm not sure how other shops do it, but this is the first shop I've ever run into that doesn't charge entrance fee. And it's not like he wasn't giving out prizes. He was giving out the Lunar New Year stuff, right? And on top of this, it was also really funny because before the final round, he was like, to all players and people who came from out of state, this is our final round of the tournament. It was so funny. We got a shout out. Navy and Krillin and I got a shout out. It was like, hey, you guys, local guys and you guys that are not from here. Final round of tournament. So my first round opponent during the Lunar New Year Cup was against the Bandori player I was playing against, like, right as the tournament was starting. So I was playing, I wanted to get some practice against Bandori. And I was like, hey, you guys, I want to get a few games against Bandori. Do you guys have Bandori on you? By the way, I think it ended up being a 17-person locals. I'll have to double check. But they had more Bandori players there than at my locals. At my locals, we have like 2 Bandori players. And they play Layer and they play the the cancel burn healer. But yeah, this 17 player local, there was a lot of Bandori. The only time I've seen like that many Bandori players is at BCS. But yeah, my locals normally has 2 Bandori players. So to see that many Bandori players, I was in shock. But yeah, my first opponent was against the Bandori player I was in the middle of a match with. Like, I was playing the game when they announced pairings for round 1, and then it turned out it was the same guy. So it was way too funny. We finished our practice game and then we went straight into round 1 for Lunar New Year Cup. And then we went into round 2, and let me remind you, this is a 17-person locals. I ended up fighting against Namian. Like, I ended up fighting against my own partner. We didn't actually fight it out because I'm like, you just take the win. You just take the win. There's too many Bandori players here. I don't want to deal with this nonsense. You take the win. You deal with it. So I gave him the win. Since the round was going on, I got to do like a free fight. I just did a fight with a random player who came in a little bit later. Oh no, he didn't come in. He got the bye. I ended up fighting. So Nami and I got paired up for round 2. I gave him the win automatically because I didn't want to deal with the Bandori players. And then there's one player who had a bye. I ended up just having a casual friendly game with him during the round. And then we went into round 3. And ended up fighting a Hololive player who seemed to be fairly new. He didn't have the standard Hololive build. It was like a Fubuki. It was a Fubuki build. So and he seemed a little nervous and stuff. But he was very, very nice. But he seemed a little bit like nervous, and like the other players were coming over to coach him. They're like, "Hey, that's Overlord. Tomorrow you got to be careful of this." So like the other players at the locals were like watching over him. So I think he was like a newer player, but it was very, very cute that they were just watching over him and stuff like that. It's like, hey, he's an Overlord. I'm not scary. Just because I'm an Overlord doesn't mean I'm a scary person, okay? But yeah, I won my game. Did I win my game? No. Yeah, I did win my game. And then right afterwards, we did a second game right afterwards because we finished pretty early. And then he beat me with Fubuki. But it was really, really nice. The locals was like super duper chill. And as I said before, there's no entrance fee for this Lunar New Year Cup. But the card shop owner did also give prizes on top of this, on top of the Lunar New Year promo. So people who got like, I think like 2 wins or 1 win or whatever ended up getting getting Weiss Schwarz booster packs. So Krillin ended up getting 1 pack. And he ended up picking a pack of Apothecary Diaries because the store actually had Weiss Schwarz Blau in stock, which I was like, wow. But yeah, so on top of the tournament being free and you get the Lunar New Year promo, depending on where you placed, you got anywhere between 2 to 1 packs. So like that's just ridiculously nice. I don't know if they charge for other tournaments I didn't look up, but like how is this owner like doing what he's doing? Because like man has to pay bills, right? Man has like to pay like electricity bills, like water bills and everything. But no, it was no entry fee, and winners got to pick 2-to-1 Weiss Schwarz booster packs, which was ridiculously crazy. So yeah, I am not sponsored by Go4 Games, but like if you guys are in the Canada area, you'll check them out. Like they're super duper cool. The players are super duper nice. Oh, also a funny thing happened. So as he was doing the prizing, so how the owner did the prizing was that he looked at the Bushi Nabi and he read each name like out loud. He was like, hey, first place, here's your promo, please pick out 2 packs. Second place, here's your promo, please pick up 2 packs. When he got to me, he was like, I knew I recognized you from somewhere. I remember now. I watched your Hololive case opening. I'm subbed to you. I was like, what? So yeah, the card shop owner has watched my streams before. Hi Calvin, if you're watching this, and my apologies if I keep calling you the owner. I'm presuming you're the owner because like, you're so knowledgeable about everything, and like you seem like the head of the store. But yeah, I didn't expect like someone at a random store in Canada to recognize me. I did have my Ita bag on me and stuff, but like it's so, I couldn't believe it. It was really funny. So yeah, I was recognized. Like, what's the chance that I walk into a random store and like someone recognizes me? Like it's so funny that happened. But yeah, like it was crazy. Don't worry, Krillin did some shopping before we left. Krillin bought a box of Riftbound. They're also doing like Riftbound release day while we were there, so Krillin did some shopping while he was there. So that was good. I don't know anything about Riftbound, but Krillin apparently was happy with his pulls. So yeah, super duper good day. I felt really bad though for dragging Namian and Krillin to a card shop when like Friday was supposed to be kind of our chill, relaxed day. Because I think we arrived there towards like, we arrived there at like, what time? We arrived there at like maybe like 2 o'clock or so after we finished eating. And like we were there until like the shop was basically closing. So we were there for like 6 hours, 6-7 hours. When we were just planning just to like have food in Chinatown, have dessert, go back to the hotel and like just chill out. But I am happy that I forgot to leave my cards at the hotel. I am so glad I forgot to leave my cards and unpack my stuff, because if I didn't, we would probably have just walked in, took a look, and walked out. But because I had my cards with me, Namian and Krillin were like, go play, get some practice. You didn't get much practice compared to us. So I am so glad I forgot to unpack my things. The 30-minute walk carrying 3 heavy deck boxes with my other stuff, because like my purse had everything in there. It had like women's purses are scary. It's like a black hole, and it might as well like my shoulder was in pain. So I was walking 30 minutes carrying this heavy bag with my cards, my mat, and other supplies and everything, but it was worth it. It was worth it. It was no coincidence. I felt like it, but it felt like everything just lined up properly. If it wasn't a coincidence, great. I am glad I forgot to unpack my bags. But yeah, so after that, Namian and Krillin and I were gonna head back to the hotel and relax. We realized we didn't have any supplies with us. So we didn't have any water, we didn't have any snacks. We were gonna go back and play some more card games. We had nothing. So Namian checked on his like Google Maps or whatever he was using. And he was trying to find a store nearby that had supplies. And we walked up to this store and the doors were busted open. The doors were busted open and there was an ambulance truck in front of the store. We don't know what the heck happened, but like it was one of those like it was supposed to be one of those like automatic like sliding door things. Like think of like a 7-Eleven and whatever, but the automatic doors were not open. Like there was like the entire like, so it's like two sides of a door that just slide open, right? Like the right side of the door was completely open and like just like it, like we don't know what happened. We're presuming someone probably crashed into the door or something, because it was completely open. Like there was no door to open, it was just a hole. But there was an ambulance truck outside. This bodega store looking thing didn't have a door or is missing a door. So we're like, okay, let's grab some water, grab some snacks, and get out of here. We called an Uber back to our hotel, and we're like, okay, we're good. The owner didn't seem too shaken up, though, which makes me wonder, like, is this a normal occurrence? Because where I live, yeah, I hope everybody was all right. There was an ambulance. We didn't ask what was going on, but Krillin took a look at the scene that was in front of us, and he was like, I think someone probably crashed into the door, like with their car or something, like probably because like it's icy, right? It's Canada, there's snow everywhere. Krillin's assuming that someone's car probably slid into something and crashed into the door, which like isn't too weird in my opinion, because I live near a spot where there's a weird like corner, and like the shop that's on that corner always gets into accidents because of how like that shop is placed. Like it's a crossroad between like it's right at this weird crossroad, and the lights are weirdly placed. So like this spot near my house, like so many people get into accidents there. It's crazy. So I'm guessing like the shop owner might not have been too shaken up because maybe this is something he's used to. I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not what he's used to. But the owner did not seem shaken up at all. He seemed perfectly fine. So yeah, we got our stuff. And then we went back, and I got some sleep, and Namian and Krillin got some sleep. I slept in. Namian and Krillin had asked me if I wanted to play Shadowverse, and Krillin had prepped a deck for me, and I was like, you know what, you guys, I'm asleep in. I'm exhausted from all the card games that happened today. I'm not showing up for Shadowverse tomorrow. You guys go on without me. So, in the morning, they left without me. I woke up, and I started getting ready to go to the venue. And the venue is like a 10-minute walk from where I was staying. Yeah, just a normal Tuesday. I was heading to the venue. Which is like a 10-minute walk. And my Google Maps was not working. It wasn't working properly. Like it works, but my location thingy, like it could not read my location for somewhat reason. Like, cause you know, like for Google Maps and stuff, you have an option where it pinpoints where you are, or you just follow the map as it is. Like they have a GPS thing. So the pinpoint location thing wasn't working. So I got lost trying to go to the venue because I'm like, I don't know where this street is. I think it's that way. Oh no, it's not that way. It's the other way. So I got lost headed to the venue. And I slept in because the single elimination tournament usually doesn't happen until after round 3. So I calculated everything. I was like, okay, I can sleep in until like maybe 10:30. No, I can sleep in until like 11:30, get ready, head over to the venue for single elimination tournament. I missed single elimination tournament because I got lost. So I went one way, then went the other way. I finally arrived at the hotel. I walked up to like the concierge people. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for this ballroom for this event. They're like, okay, go down the hall, take the elevator, hit CL, then cross this sky bridge, go down an escalator, and you'll be at the ballroom. I was like, okay, got it. I head down the hall. Google Maps literally takes you dead ends, not surprised. So I was like, okay, head down this hall, hit the elevator button, hit CL. I go up to the CL floor. Was it up or down? I hit the CL floor, and I was like, okay, I see two paths. Which way? I think it's this way because I hear loud people talking. So I head down one way, see an escalator. Like I head down this like long path, go down the escalator, and I'm right in front of the concierge's desk. I basically made a loop. So I was like, oops, not the right way. So I go back up the escalator and go the other way. I then spot a familiar face. So as I said earlier in the stream, there's like two groups that usually travel with us. And what happened is one of their group's players was standing by an elevator. And I was like, he goes by Garrison on Twitter, so I'm pretty sure he doesn't mind that I call him Garrison here. So I was like, hey Garrison, help me, I'm lost. Which way is the venue? He's like, go that way, you'll see an escalator, go down. So I finally arrived at the ballroom where BCS was taking place. But I was late. I walked by the tables and I saw the single limb tournament tables already like setting up. So I was like, oh drat, I missed it. It's okay. I'm just gonna go walk around and maybe do some filming. So I'm part of the Bushiroad content creator program, so I'm allowed to film, but I did want to make sure everything was okay before I started filming. So I walked up to headquarters and I approached Ramil, who is Bushiroad staff. So I was like, hey Ramil, he's like, I'm so sorry, we have a situation going on right now. Can we talk later? I'm like, okay, sure. I found out what the situation was later. Because while I was waiting, Ramil made the announcements and said, Shadowverse players, we will not be having a repair. And I wasn't playing Shadowverse, but Namian and Krillin were. So what happened was, from what they told me, which by the way might or might not be correct, because I wasn't playing, but from what they told me, there was a double loss situation happening with two undefeated players. So yeah, you never want a double loss because it pulls down both of your records, because Bushi Navi calculates like your rankings based on your opponent's win percentage. So like if you and your opponent both have losses, it drags like your score to the dirt. It's so bad. But basically, so I'm gonna slightly explain how Shadowverse works in case like no one knows. But what happens is, in Shadowverse, you lose the moment you have to draw and cannot draw a card. So you don't lose the moment you have 0 cards in deck. You lose the moment you have 0 cards in deck and attempt to draw. So what happened was, player A and player B. Player B had 0 cards left in his deck. It was player A's turn. Which meant that as soon as he ended turn, player B would have to draw for turn, can't, and lose the game. Time was called before player A could announce end turn. So because of that, it was a double loss. Which makes sense. Time is called, the game is over. there is no concrete winner, so it's double loss. But if the player had enough time to announce end of turn, player B would have to attempt to draw from his deck and automatically lose the game. So apparently that was the situation that might have caused a repair, but the repair didn't happen. So that happened, which was the thing. I was like, what? I was like, because I do play Shadowverse from time to time, but it's not my main game. My main game, Weiss Schwarz, is my main game. So I went up to a meal later, double checked that my recording, everything was good, and then I did some walking around, and then got ready for a single elimination tournament. I did not win single elimination tournament, but I did have a lot of fun. I ended up making a conversation with a gentleman, which I later found out his name was Mitchell. So I was waiting for single elim tournament to start. I was sitting around talking to some of the players, and I ended up conversing with a player. A player ended up learning his name was Mitchell later on day 2. I'll talk about why later. But yeah, I didn't end up winning the single elimination tournament. And Makeine and Krillin didn't do well in Shadowverse. So they lost pretty early. But I was still in single elimination tournament when Krillin and Makeine had dropped from the tournament. I was still in single elimination tournament when Krillin and Makeine dropped out of the tournament. Our good buddy Nikke, who was with Garrison's group, was playing Vanguard, and he also dropped out pretty early and went back to his room. Went back to his hotel, which was actually the hotel where the venue was. Their group was staying at the hotel where the venue was, while we were staying at a different hotel. But anyway, Makeine was like, hey, Nikke lost in the tournament really early, and I don't think he ate yet. So after the single elim tournament is over, want to call Nikke, go get some food, and then we head back to our hotel and settle down and play some card games. I was like, sure, sounds good to me. So, this is a thing that Makeine likes to do, and we've also done multiple times to other Weiss players, card game players. He did this to Astrum when he came to visit us in Chicago. So basically, what happens is that we play card games and watch terrible movies on Tubi. So we play card games and we watch terrible movies on Tubi. And it was time for Nikke to experience this. So we head back to our hotel. Nikke is with us. By the way, I get a message like in the middle of like the tournament, because I want to make sure that everybody's like where they're supposed to be and stuff, and I don't want to get lost again. So I get a message in the middle of like my single elim tournament, and Namian's like, hey, guess what? Nikke's gonna be playing Makeine for Weiss tomorrow. And I was like, what? Makeine is fine. Namian has been obsessed with trying to get Makeine to work. So he found a friend. He found a like-minded friend. So yeah. They were running 2 different builds, so that's why they also wanted to play Weiss and see, you know, whose build was better and whatnot. So yeah. We went back to the hotel. Well, we went back to our hotel, and Nikke, Krillin, and Makeine were also talking about Dadadan, because Dadadan was having its Meister Cup the day after. So the thought process was, if we scrub out, we're gonna enter the Dadadan Meister Cup. So Krillin was trying to wrap his mind around how to play Dadadan. Krillin's a fan of Dadadan. like Krillin mainly plays decks / series that he really enjoys. So Dadadan is like he likes Konosuba, so he plays Konosuba. He likes Rurouni Kenshin, so he plays Kenshin. And now his latest series that he's interested in is Dadadan. So he's like, okay, I'm bringing Megu. I'm bringing Megumin. I'm bringing Konosuba to BCS tomorrow. But I should learn how Dadadan plays just in case I scrub out so I can enter the Meister Cup. So Nick and I were just playing some casual games. Nick wasn't too familiar with Chance, so I played him with my Blau decks into his Makeine deck. And by the way, I got completely stomped. It's not surprising. Blau's power level is like Weiss in 2010, and Makeine is like, you know, new. So I got completely stomped. But Krillin and Damien were practicing. Krillin was playing Dadadan, and Damien was on Shauna. So what happened was, they were playing their game, I was playing my game with Nick, and then we swapped. And Krillin just kept sticking 5 damage. Like he was playing the weird change thing where like you cancel burn 5. And the 5s were sticking like nobody's business. It was so stupid. Like, I'm like, in my mind, 4s don't stick. 4s don't stick unless you're playing Hendrickson. Unless you're playing a deck that like actively has anti-compression, 4s don't stick. And clearly Krillin didn't get the memo because his 5s were sticking. And like Nick, Damien, and I were like, Krillin, just play Dadadan tomorrow. Don't play Megumin tomorrow. Just play Dadadan tomorrow. So we were trying to convince him to play Dadadan for day 2. We were like, okay, it's getting late. We should have a snack or something. So Damien ordered ice cream. So we got some ice cream. We were chilling in front of the TV watching terrible Tubi movies when we hear an alarm go off. We hear an alarm go off. It was the fire alarm. And we were like, is this a fire drill? Is there an actual fire? Mind you, we are on the 27th floor. We're on the 27th floor of this hotel, and like, elevators do not work during fires, okay? And we're like, do we leave? Is it whatever? We popped our heads out of like into the corridor. There was a lady there, and she was like, is it an actual fire? Do we actually have to leave? And like, she didn't know what was going on. We didn't know what was going on. Krillin tried to message someone on the front desk, whatever. We didn't get a response back. So Nick and Krillin, Damien and I walked down 27 flights of stairs. We walked down 27 flights of stairs. And what do we see when we reach the bottom? We see this. We see this when we reach the bottom. So yeah, the fire alarm went off and the fire department was called. We did not know what the heck was going on. We also saw other people outside. Their knees were in pain, my knees were in pain. We walked down 27 flights of stairs. We're like, we don't know if we can go back into the building. Is everything okay? And Damien was like, we shouldn't just stand here. And Nick was like, yeah, we shouldn't just stand here. We should go, you know, there's a mall right next door. Let's go shopping while we figure out what the heck is going on. As we're about to leave, we get cleared to go back. We're like, okay, guess we're not going shopping. We walk in, we ask security what the heck was going on. Security told us this. Someone was having a birthday party. The candle set off the alarm. So, it was fire from candles that set off the fire alarm. Nobody was hurt from what I know. We were all good. Only bad thing was the pain we had in our knees. The elevator was working, so it's perfectly fine. We took the elevator back upstairs. But yeah, very eventful first day of BCS. Me getting lost, me missing, single elim round 1, then fire alarm, fire trucks. That was fire alarm being set off by someone who was having a birthday party. Yeah. Day 1, yay! So, we were also really confused if there was actually a fire, because this hotel did not have like gas stoves. They have like electric stoves or whatever. Because Krillin has a very keen eye on these things. He's like, this building is very, very new. Like, we walked into the building and Krillin's like, this building is very new. And like, the stoves were not gas stoves. They were the electric stoves. And like, he's like, I don't know how, like, what caused this? What could it possibly be? But yeah, security told us it was candles. Which makes sense because the building basically doesn't have gas stoves, so where would the fire come from? Yeah, this felt like 3 days when it's only been like half of Friday and the full day of Saturday. So yeah, that happened. So finally, BCS day 2, the big important day for me, Weiss Schwarz. Okay. So, but we ended up convincing Krillin to play Dadadan for Weiss Schwarz, day 2. And he named, it would have been so funny if he topped, because his deck name was just 5555555, like the max character limit for your deck list, but it was just all 5s. It would have been so funny if he topped, but he didn't. He was super duper close. He was like, what was he? He was X2 going into round 7, and the one time he needed the 5 to stick to win the game, it didn't stick. But he did the best out of us. He was X2 going into round 7 and then X3. So that's a thing that happened. Namian, from what I understand, had terrible games. Like, he went 0-2 and drop. And I guess this is where I talk about my matchups for the day. So let me pull this up. I do have video footage of my my talking of my like little rounds before then. But yeah, my round 1 opponent was Bunny Senpai, and I lost my round 1. I did really badly. The guy didn't even have 4 different cards in memory when he killed me, but like, if I remember correctly, I think this was the game where I didn't get my CX combo off because I didn't have a door in my waiting room. Like, I had the Shaltiers in my hand for level 1, I had a Demiurge in my hand too, and I had a Climax, I had a bar, but I didn't have a door in my waiting room to do a CX swap. I think that was what happened here. I'll have to double check my video like footage to remember what happened. But yeah, this was pretty, it was a pretty bad game for me. Like, I'm trying to think of how many times that I've not been able to CX swap because I don't have a door in the waiting room. But yeah, I fell pretty far behind, and he killed me even though he didn't have 4 different cards in waiting room. That was, I was just, it was just no for me. My second game was against Nikke, and I felt super duper happy when I saw my opponent. My opponent was a familiar face. He was my opponent in BSF Philadelphia. So my team fought his team during Swiss, and then we fought each other again in top 8. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's you. Are all your buddies here too? And he's like, yes. So out of the entire venue, I ended up fighting my opponent from BSF, and it was him, specifically him. He was in C slot and I was in C slot during BSF. I could have fought one of his buddies. I could have fought anyone else in the venue, but no, I ended up fighting him again. But this man is like the chillest dude ever. I misplayed, by the way. And like, I didn't realize it until he pointed it out. So I had my Einses on the board. I should probably do this. Okay. Let me move this so I can explain what the frick happened. So I had checked bar the turn earlier. So he knew I had bar in hand. He knew I had bar in hand. Wow. Okay. So my board was basically like this. It was like Eins and like nines and like, it was basically like this. I don't remember what exactly my board was, but it was something like this. It was like, I think it would have been like 2 Shaltiers or something weird. Yeah, my board was something like that. My board was basically something like this. And my hand had like this, bar, and like some other cards or whatever. I don't remember what else was in my hand. Definitely not a goat because I played it. But yeah, my hand was something like this. And I went entering CX phase and went like that. And he's like, your climax. I was like, oh drat. He's like, it's fine, take it back. I know you checked the bar. I know you checked it. You wouldn't go into Ions if you didn't plan on playing the bar. Because I did the full swap thing. So it was like the level 0 Eins into level 3 Eins. So I was a dum-dum and I accidentally played my bar, played my door instead of my bar. And I was like, no, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. You did the whole thing. I knew you checked the bar. Just swap it. So he let me swap it and take it back. I was like, man, he's so nice. During our games in Philly, he was also super duper chill. But like, most players won't let you take back that. Like, if you misplay and do something like that, like most players won't let you take it back. So I ended up winning the game. And I was telling him afterwards, I'm like, dude, that's so ridiculously nice of you to do that. You didn't have to let me do that. And he was like, if a player is intentionally rule sharking you to win the game, what's the point? And I know that it wasn't intentional. And we were talking about it. And he was like, if it wasn't, he was like, if you have to rule shark to win the game, like, what's the point? But I was telling him about something that happened to me in Georgia. So I'm gonna include this in the Georgia video. I'm still in the process of like gathering all my footage. But Georgia is probably the worst state for me for card games. I've had judge called on me twice in Georgia. And the first time it happened, it was like 2 years ago. I got judge called on me and the judge was like, hey, this is a level 3 tournament. If this was level 2, I would reverse it. But since it's a level 3 tournament, I can't reverse it, thus I'm gonna give you the game lost. And then I got judge called on me during this recent BCS Georgia. And I'm like, Georgia is just cursed for me, I guess. But basically what happened when I was in Georgia was, I will do this as, I guess I'll play as my opponent in this case. So to explain what happened in Georgia, something like this basically happened in Georgia. Okay, I guess we'll do it like that. My opponent was on Hololive, by the way, so so just pretend these are Hololive cards. So, and my opponent's deck was like here, I think. Let's see. We'll go like this. So what happened was my opponent's board was like this. And he attacked with his first unit and he triggered standby. Pretend that's a standby, okay? Pretend that's a standby. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the 1 damage while he's deciding on standby. So I took the 1 damage. So let's do this. Okay. So he attacks, and he has 3 units on the board. He attacks, he triggers standby. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the damage while he's deciding on standby. I take the 1. I'm like, the 1 sticks. And then he goes, I wish you didn't take that damage because I was gonna stand by over the unit that just attacked. So basically, let's say he had, ooh, I don't have any level 1s in here. He was gonna go like this, which would fizz out his own attack. So he was like, I wish you didn't do that. I was gonna stand by over my own unit. This is irreversible game state. I'm calling judge. I was like, oh my goodness. I was in panic. I was like, he was like, I'm sorry, I'm calling judge. This is irreversible game state. And I'm like, it's perfectly fine. It happens. This happened to me last time while I was in Georgia. It's perfectly fine. I'm okay with it. So I was like, I'm perfectly fine with it. This happened to me before in Georgia. I got a game loss for it before. If anything, this is a lesson for me to let the standbys resolve. Perfectly fine with it. Judge comes over and he explains to the judge what's happening. And judge is like, it's not a game loss. It's a warning, if anything. And then he's like, wait, if I stand by over one of my other units, can she not get the warning? And the judge was like, well, it's up to you what you want to do. So he is like, okay, I'm not gonna stand by over my own on the unit that just attacked. I'm just gonna stand by over one of my other units. Which I was in complete shock he would do that. Like, he basically fizzed out an attack so I wouldn't have to get a warning. Like, I didn't expect that to happen. So yeah, I explained this to my opponent during round 2, Nikke, and I was like, yeah, I've had judge called on me before, like the kind of stuff, and it's really kind of you to allow me to take it back. So yeah, I ended up winning my game. We had a nice conversation about that kind of stuff. And then my round 3 was Azure lane. This was very interesting. I got punched ridiculously hard in Azure lane, and let me explain this to you guys in the easiest way. The guy was at 2-4 when he killed me. He was on standby. I think was it 8 standby? He was on standby. Guy never even got out his level 3s with his standbys. He got out his level 2s, and like, I just got punched and had no way of recovering. Like, I've never had such like a terrible game, like, ever. I will also say this, I am not too familiar with standby Azure lane. The only build for Azure lane I've actually fought is Enterprise. And that's because in Georgia, I actually participated in the Azure lane Meister Cup, and all my opponents except one was on Enterprise. The person who wasn't on Enterprise was on like Bar, but I've never fought Azure lane standby before. So I was surprised when he had units, level 0s, that could kill my Cocutus. Like, his level 0s were like 5k, 7k, and 7k or whatever. So like, I had 2 Cocutuses. It didn't matter. I got punched. So I just completely got stomped by Azure lane. I'm not surprised. That being said, I kind of want to play Azure lane now. That being said, I kind of feel like playing Azure lane now. I did enjoy playing Enterprise, but like, I felt like I had too many one-ofs, and like, I had to do too much searching for Azure lane. But like, standby Azure lane seems kind of fun. And then I went into round 4, and round 4 was a brand new familiar face. Round 4 was one of the guys that was at Go for Game. He was the guy I was talking to about Bandori. So I was talking to the guys at Go for Games, telling them that the guys at my locals told me that 70% of players don't run anti-change in Bandori. And their reasoning that they don't run anti-change is because they don't have room for it. Because there's too many good cards in Bandori, which like makes total sense, by the way. Bandori has way too many good cards. But my opponent, for round 4, while we were at Go for Games, he was like, hey, I'm the 30%. I run anti-change. And then I ended up fighting him during round 4 at BCS. And I was like, wait, you're the guy that plays an anti-change in your deck. And he's like, yup. And he had it actually in his waiting room. He mulliganed it. I didn't see it. I didn't notice it. But he's like, yeah, I play the anti-change. So one of the few times I was able to know ahead of time for sure that my opponent was playing the anti-change. The only time I ever know for sure if my opponent's playing an anti-change is if my opponent, Nikke, he played anti-change before when we were in Philadelphia. By the way, that was really, like, I got tricked for a second because my brain was not keeping up what was going on during round 2. I thought he had the anti-chain as his hand, and then I saw it in stock 2. I was like, does he play 2? But my brain didn't comprehend that he got stalked for some reason. My brain was not working that day. And to prove that my brain was not working that day, Lycoris Recoil was my round 5 opponent. So I lost, I won my game against round 4 Bandori because I knew he played anti-change. And he actually never played it while during my game. But, so round 4, I've had 2 wins at that point and 2 losses. 1 win against Nikke and 1 win against Bandori. My losses were Bunny and Azure. And I'm going into round 5. Round 5, I approach my table. There's this giant fancy looking binder underneath like my chair. I was like, what? It's the really fancy like cloth looking binders with the zipper and everything. So I was like, okay, maybe it's my opponent's. Like, you know, sometimes you slide your thing underneath the table and then it slides too far or whatever. So I was like, hey, is this your binder? And he's like, no, that's not my binder. And asked the other guys around me. I'm like, is this your binder? And they're like, no, it's not my binder. I was like, okay, fine. I'll be right back. I'm bringing this up to HQ. I didn't look what was in the binder. I just gave it to Ramil and I was like, hey, this was found at this table. I'm gonna go play my game now. So I hope whoever lost their binder found their binder, or ended up remembering that they're missing a binder, went up to Ramil or HQ to grab it. But yeah, it was a very fancy looking binder. It was like a cloth binder with a zipper and everything. It wasn't like a plastic binder and everything. I didn't look what was in it. It might have been empty. I don't know. Some people just like sell their cards or sell whatever and just leave like their empty binders around. So I don't know if it was empty or not, but I was like, you know what? It looks very fancy. Even if it is empty, someone probably wants their binder back. So I dropped it off at HQ. So I fought Lycoris Recoil. And this is how you know I was exhausted. By the way, I didn't eat breakfast that morning. Namian and Krillin didn't grab breakfast that morning. So I was like, I didn't want to bug them and have them like go out of their way for us to like go have breakfast. Because when we stayed in Georgia and we stayed in Texas, like we all got breakfast in the morning because like the hotel we were staying at like had breakfast or whatnot. So the hotel we stayed in Georgia had like breakfast included. Texas, whatever, we all had breakfast, whatever. But the hotel we were staying at this time in Toronto didn't have breakfast. So they were like, okay, we're not having breakfast. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna like force us all to have breakfast. So I was like, my brain was probably not functioning properly. Because what I did is probably the most stupid thing I have ever done. So I remember my hand exactly because I was in pain. I was in pain when I did this. So this was my hand. This, but where is it? It was like this, and I think it was a Cocutus. I don't remember the last card, but I did have the Eins in my hand because I bounced back. It was like this, and I think one other card because I drew for turn. So this was my hand going into my turn. It was I had this, I had these in my hand, and then I had bounced my Cocutus and my Eins back into my hand the previous turn when he attacked, and I drew something. So, and I was level 1. Let me just stick something in here for level 1. Let me see. I'll just put that, okay? This was my hand. Okay? This was my hand. What would you clock? Me being a dum-dum clocked that. I clocked my CX for my CX combo. Woke up in a cold sweat thing. Yeah, this is the dumbest thing I ever done because I need a CX for these to go off. And for some odd reason, my brain was like, yeah, clock the red CX. My opponent was surprised too when I was like, I go into Clivex, I don't have it. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, I accidentally clocked it. My opponent probably will remember his opponent from BCS Toronto who was a dum-dum and accidentally clocked her red climax. He's probably gonna remember, oh, there was this dumb girl who clocked her red climax. So yeah, I was a dum-dum, my brain was not working, and I accidentally clocked my red climax. That being said, he wasn't able to run over all my shell tears, so I did have an extra turn to try to come back from it. And by try to come back from it, I mean I did not come back from it at all. I did not come back from it, like, at all. It was pretty bad. And I lost. That being said, I fully deserve to be punished for this. I fully deserve to be punished for clocking my red door when I shouldn't have. I fully deserve to be punished for that, okay? This was really bad. And like, you see like the Looney Tune cartoons where someone stumbles and then they fall down a flight of stairs? Because that was me. Because after I lost Lycoris Recoil, I proceeded to lose against Hololive, and then I lost the Bandori right after. So like, my brain was just like on shutdown mode after that. So I lost to Hololive. The good thing about my round 6 and round 7 opponents were that, of course, they were really, really chill. But during round 6, I sat down at my chair, and my opponent was like, "Are you a cosplayer?" I don't know what caused him to ask that, but he was like, "Hey, are you a cosplayer?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not a cosplayer. I'm a VTuber." And what happened was, the guy sitting next to me was like, "Are you?" Where you gotta? No. I stumbled and then I continued to fall. Is what happened. I stumbled. I tripped. Lycoris Recoil was the banana that I stepped on, and then Hololive and Bandori, my round 6 and round 7, were the stairs that were right next to the banana peel, and I fell down it. But yeah, my round 6 opponent was like, "Hey, are you a cosplayer?" I'm like, "No, I'm a VTuber." And then the guy sitting next to me was like, "Hey, are you Peridot?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hey, I'm Aaron." So if you guys don't know, Aaron is from like the Ohio Weiss group or whatever. And I had never met him before today. The other person who was like working with Aaron on the Ohio like summer Weiss Schwarz thing was Jazzy. Jazzy I had met before, but I've never met Aaron before. So he was like, "Hey, I'm Aaron." I was like, "Oh my gosh, Aaron, it's nice to meet you." Jazzy and Aaron had contacted me prior, I think like last year, to do an advertisement for their like summer Ohio thing. like not an advertisement for their event, but they wanted just to run ads in between like rounds while the opponents were getting ready for like tournament and stuff. So yeah, I filmed a little like ad read for them so they can just like run it in between ads and stuff. But I've never met Aaron before today, but he was sitting next to me, which would have been really fun if I fought against him. But yeah, I fought against my Hololive opponent. He was super duper chill. It kind of came down to the wire. I don't like, we were both on 3 and I almost like, it was just like going back and forth because like he canceled, I canceled. I tried to ping him with goats and win everything. But yeah, that happened. Lost my game against Hololive, and then I proceeded to lose my game against Bandori, which was also funny because when I sat down for my Bandori game, Aaron was sitting diagonal from me. So like twice we could have ended up fighting against each other, but that didn't happen, which is way too funny. It's way too funny that happened. But yeah, that happened. So my tournament was over. But Namian had dragged Nick into the Dadadan tournament. Krillin thought he was going to scrub out of the Weiss Schwarz tournament. And he was gonna go play the Dadadan tournament. Because he likes Dadadan and he wanted the climax. So what happened was Namian scrubbed out and Nick also scrubbed out. I will show you what Nick sent to us. As I mentioned before, Nick was on Makeine, okay? He was on Makeine. He was on Makeine. He messaged us what happened when he went to pay cost. I want this show. Why won't this show? Wait, hold on. I wanted to show you guys this. I want this show. Let them move this up. Okay, let me try this. Oh, wait, there it is. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to put this again. But Nick was on Makeine, and he was going to pay for cost. For Makeine's cost, you have to put the top 3 cards of your deck into clock. And when I say put, I mean put. It's not like a cancel or anything. The cards just automatically go into your your level zone. And yeah, this is what happened when Nick tried to pay for cost. 3 climaxes. Poor guy. Yeah. So yeah, he lost this game. And Namian dragged him into the Dadadan tournament. And man, this must have felt terrible. But yeah, these don't cancel. It's a place. It's basically clock from top deck. Clock 3 cards on the top of your deck to pay for cost, and they were all cancels. So yeah, Namian and Nick basically lost super duper early. So Namian dragged Nick into the Dadadan tournament. We got a copy of Krillin's deck list, and he made a copy of Krillin's deck list for Nick, while Namian made like, I think he made like Bar. It's the Ira deck. It's the reveal and burn based off of number of triggers or something. Like, I don't remember, but he made himself like a bar deck or something with the extras. And what he told me was that he could hear Nick during the entire tournament. Like, he could hear Nick yelling and talking during the entire tournament. So plus side, Nick was able to find a new deck that he liked. And Damien also found a new deck he liked because he ended up enjoying the Ira deck. And I tried it too. My brain was like exploding. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, because the deck wasn't Nick's, Nick ended up getting top. He ended up getting like top 4 or whatever, so he got like the regular promo. So Nick gave the promo to Damien, and Damien gave the promo to Krillin, because Krillin really wants the promos because he likes Dadadan. The winner of the tournament ended up being the player I was talking to the day before. He during the single limb tournament, he ended up winning the single limb tournament. He ended up winning one of the single limb tournament foil promos. So how the single limb tournament works is that if you get 3 wins, you automatically get the promo. So he was actually in my pod when he got his 3 wins. So he ended up winning the single limb promo, and then he also ended up winning the Meister Cup Dadadan promo. And I was like, hey, congrats, dude. You won the single limb tournament and you won the Meister Cup tournament. He's like, yeah, but I didn't do too well in the actual tournament. I was like, hey, that's at least something, because I didn't win anything. So we were chatting with him for a bit because Krillin really wanted the foil CX, and they ended up working out a deal. He introduced himself as Mitchell, and he was like, oh, I'm from the Toronto area. I've been playing Weiss for a long time. He's been playing Weiss pretty much as long as I have. So yeah, we met a new buddy, and they ended up working out a deal, and Krillin was able to get the foil Dadadan CX from him and the regular CX. Mitchell also had a buddy who ended up in top 4 as well, so he also had a regular CX promo, and apparently they're in conversation, trying to figure out how to work out that. But yeah, that was a thing. So everything like worked out pretty well. We didn't top, but Krillin got the foil and regular CXs that he wanted to. Damien found a new deck he's interested in playing. And for me, I just had a good experience overall, because like how the heck can so many players be so chill? It's kind of unbelievable. We went back to our hotel, and we did some more card playing and stuff. Damien gave me his Dadadan deck to try, and I will say this, I was already exhausted from the day. I did have some food afterwards, but like my brain was just like not working. The deck was not like, I was like, this feels harder than Enterprise. And then he was like, Enterprise is the most easiest deck ever. He was doing the pineapple apple joke. Like he was like, you have a yellow, you have a blue, bum, Enterprise. So that happened, and like my brain was not working. I'm like, there's too many moving pieces. This is too much hard work. Like this is not a deck for me. So I think I'm gonna stick to Ainz. But yeah, I think despite everything that happened, this was a great trip. We enjoyed it so much that we were talking about going back to Toronto for Springfest, Summerfest, Springfest, Summerfest. It's Summerfest now. But we were talking about going back to Toronto for Summerfest because Krillin actually has family that lives up in Toronto. And it was funny because we met up with his family, some members of his family, and we were trying to explain to them how card games work. It's really weird trying to explain to someone who's never touched card games before how card games work. But yeah, that was also a thing that happened. And then we were also talking like about like how like these events work, how often they happen, what the pricing is and stuff like that. But yeah, people who don't understand card games, it's really hard to explain to them in a language that you can understand. Because I tried to explain too, and like I ended up using lingo that they don't understand. This is also a funny thing that happened. His family, yes, we went to go see his family. Well, we had like dinner with his family and stuff like that, and we were talking because they were asking like, "Oh, what were you doing in Toronto? What did you do today?" Like the typical family stuff, asking what you're up to and stuff like that. But yeah, this also happened during my game against I think it was against the Azure lane player. Very, very interesting. After the game was over, the Azure lane player was like, "Hey, do you play Vanguard?" And I was like, "I used to play Vanguard." He's like, I had a feeling because you say skill activation. Cause like when I play games, I'm going like skill activation, whatever, or activate skill, I think I mainly do it with Eins. I think I'm like, I do like, how do I do this? Let me put an Eins on the board. So how I normally do stuff is like, skill activate, that kind of thing. Apparently it's a Vanguard thing. I didn't know that. But yeah, the guy was like, "Yeah, it's a Vanguard. Like, I had a feeling you were a Vanguard player because you do the skill activation thing." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." I've also had people comment before. So Namian's brother once saw us playing card games. Cause like there was a video of me playing like card games, and like Namian showed it to his brother, and like I'm guessing he was trying to explain how card games work to him too. But like his brother was like, "She shuffles like a casino dealer. She plays cards like a casino dealer." I was like, "Wait, what?" So yeah, apparently I play cards like a casino dealer, and I still talk like a Vanguard player even though I don't actively play Vanguard anymore. Like the last time I played Vanguard, I'm trying to think when's the last time I played Vanguard. I don't remember, but normally I only play Vanguard when Teams comes around and someone needs a third, and I'm like, just give me your easiest deck and I'll play that. But yeah, that's a thing apparently. I didn't even know that I speak like a Vanguard player. I don't know if that's a thing. But yeah, I don't. What does playing cards like a casino dealer mean, and what does like I feel like it's normal? I'm not sure. Oh, also one of Krillin's family members say that I pronounce watermelon weird. So there's these little things I learned about myself that I didn't know until like this trip, which was really, really fun and kind of weird. And now I'm like nervous anytime I pronounce the word watermelon because like I don't think I pronounce it weird. But maybe it sounds weird. Like, I don't think I have a New York accent, even though I'm from New York. But maybe I do have a little bit of an accent or whatever. But yeah, so that's the thing. Namian found a new deck he liked. Nick found a new deck he liked. Krillin was super duper happy, decided to play Dadadan instead of Megumin for regionals. And for me, I'm gonna have some new Weiss buddies. So what normally happens is that me, Namian, and Krillin usually like gather together. We meet up at like a card store, or we meet up like at one of our houses to play card games. Maybe a regional difference? Okay, maybe it is a regional difference. So we normally like meet up somewhere and we play card games. And we have now kidnapped Nick from his group. We have now kidnapped Nick from his group to join us in playing card games. In addition to that, we've also kidnapped two of their other friends. So yeah, so one of the other players that we were talking to was Joey. He also goes by Joey on Twitter, so I'm pretty sure he's okay with me calling him Joey. But yeah, Joey was like, "I didn't know Weiss was day 2. If I would have known, I would have brought my Weiss deck instead of playing, I think, was it Vanguard that day? Shadowverse? Yeah, I think it was Vanguard." He was like, "If I had known that Weiss was day 2, I would have brought my deck." So yeah, from Nick's group, 3 of them, including Nick, are intending to play Weiss for Philly. So we have officially kidnapped them and forced them to join our Weiss group whenever we do meetups to practice. So I have found 3 new Weiss buddies that I can torture. I mean, kindly offer cookies. So everything has been good. Everything has been good. I didn't do well in the tournament. This is probably the worst I've ever done. I blame not having breakfast, and also I changed my sleeves last minute. So Krillin has a thing. I think all card game players have a thing. But Krillin has a thing that he kind of like jabs people's cards when he like you know, whatever. Krillin has a habit. He's like, I attack this unit, or what does this unit do? Krillin has a habit of jabbing people's cards. So I also changed my sleeves the day before BCS day 2. So I changed my sleeves. I also didn't have breakfast. I will say that's the reason I did terribly that day. The reason I didn't go X2 drop or X3 drop was because I ran out of time. I got my 3rd loss and like I went to do my little vlog thing, and then the next round started. I didn't have time to drop. So that's why I did the extra games. Also, everyone was nice. Everyone was nice. It wasn't like I was trying to actively avoid anybody. Not that I actively try to avoid people anyway when I go to regionals or whatever. But like I've done free fight already. I've done like other stuff. And oh right, I should probably show this off. This was my thingy. This was the promo I got during my pack opening for the thing. But yeah, it wasn't like I was like desperate to do free fight, so I just decided just to play a few more games with the locals and stuff, or anybody that was there in the tournament. And I also did some retail therapy. I did some shopping. I did some shopping. I got myself some new sleeves. Because clearly changing these sleeves made me play worse. I got myself some new sleeves. This is Kirino, this is Kyosuke from Oreimo, and this was basically me and Ainz the entire day of day 2. So yeah, I thought these sleeves were really cute, so I picked them up from the vendors there. The vendors are also super duper chill. They didn't have too much Weiss in stock, but like, they were very chill when I was asking them stuff, because I was asking them for some SPs I was looking for. So yeah, all the vendors were super duper chill. I was digging through like sleeves during the like this vendor, I forgot what their name was, but I was digging through all the sleeves, saw these, and like I'm grabbing both of them. But yeah, fun event. Didn't do well, but I had fun, which is all that matters. And I'm gonna have more fun because I have like more Weiss buddies now. So I normally go to my locals to play card games, but there's one problem with going to my locals for card games, and that's because we play mixed format. Most of the players there play JP, and because of that, I don't really get good practice. Not that saying playing against JP decks isn't good practice, but like JP is on a whole different meta. Like they have Idolmaster, Overlord is hit over there, and stuff like that. So me playing against the CQ players isn't really preparing me for BCS, because BCS and WGP are 2 different things. But it's nice that I'm gonna have 3 additional like card buddies that mainly only play English because they're mainly Vanguard players to practice against. And I can get a few more reps in, which is nice. It's always nice to do like reps and just like practice playing card games. It's, some people say that like, you know, as long as you get your reps in, it doesn't matter like what you're playing against. But I also feel like I do feel like I need to get exposed to more different decks that are out there. Because as I said, for Bandori, the 2 Bandori decks I've fought, well 3 now, prior to going to BCS was like the cancel burn, layer, the blue milling your own deck, burn number of climaxes. My final Bandori opponent was playing the weird swap thing with the pink and the blue, and like I had never fought that. That was the first time I ever fought it, and it was fun. It was fun. Probably more fun for him than fun for me, because I couldn't use any backups and my lane was empty and whatnot. But yeah, I like seeing all these fun different decks, and it was just fun. Like I still can't believe that I just randomly walked into a locals. They were having Lunar New Year Cup, and everyone was just so freaking chill. Like I normally don't really have time for that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But like, we were just in the area grabbing some food, and we saw a card shop. We're like, hey, let's stop by. But yeah, don't know what else to really talk about. I think I definitely missed a few things. Oh right, I did miss a few things. I think it was my Bunny Senpai opponent and my Lycoris Recoil opponent. I had asked them, I was like, during their first refresh, I was like, hey, do you guys have backups or anti-change in your waiting room? And both of my opponents were like, hey, I don't run it. I straight up don't run it. I was like, guys, you're not supposed to tell me this. You're not supposed to tell me that you just straight up don't run the anti-change. Of course, you know, people lie, but like, I believe them, of course. So like my bunny senpai opponent was like, hey, I don't run the anti-change. I straight up don't run it. I was like, you're not supposed to tell me that. And then my Lycoris Recoil player during round 5, he was like, okay. My Lycoris Recoil opponent didn't know that Lycoris Recoil had an anti-change. I was like, hey, do you have an anti-change in your waiting room? And he's like, let me tell you something. Lycoris Recoil doesn't have an anti-change. And I was like, what are you talking about? It does. It's on a level 1. And he's like, what? I would have put it in my deck if I had known against Overlord. So yeah, but 2 of my opponents just straight up told me that they don't run the anti-change, which I was surprised by, because most players would be like very hush-hush about it. It's also really funny when they do have an anti-change and I swing into it by accident, so it's funny, hee hee haha kind of stuff. My Nikke opponent, I was like, ah, I see it! I see your anti-change! But yeah, I guess that's about it. I thought I'd just do this stream in case I forget anything. Going forward, I did do like little like video vloggy thingies after each of my rounds, after rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. After round 6, I went to go check my camera, and it turned out that my camera was on the entire time. I forgot, I think something must have pushed the on button while I was there, so I ended up doing like recordings with my phone instead, but like it's kind of blah, so I probably won't use that. I'll probably, my video when I make it will probably just include like the footage from like rounds 1 through 5, because me being a dum-dum accidentally burned my battery. But yeah, had a good time. These are all the buttons I have gotten and my teammates have gotten. Thank you to my teammates for giving their buttons to me. I think there's 8. Do I have all of them? No, I don't. I have... What am I missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I am missing 1. Oh, I'm missing the secret one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I'm just missing the secret one. Other than that, I have all of them. Ooh, I'm just missing the secret. Okay. Hopefully I get the last one I'm missing when we go to Philly. I will be in Philadelphia for Hololive. Thank goodness they increased the slots for Hololive. I'll be at Philly day 1 for Hololive, which means no sleeping in for me. And then I'll be playing Weiss on day 2. If you guys see me, where are they? I'm not sure. I have pins that I usually give out to people who are who come challenge me to a game. You don't even have to beat me, just challenge me to a game, I'll give you a pin. I don't have one on me. I should have prepared myself better. But I have a picture of it like on my little community tab or whatever. I've also been working on yeah. I've been working on a little something and stuff. But yeah, the little pins I'll be giving out is like my default VTuber avatar, or like this. It has like this on the pin. So if you guys see me in Philly, like I don't eat people. I'm not scary. I'm like Ainz. I may look scary, but I'm not scary. Feel free to approach me, challenge me to Game of Weiss. You just have to challenge me for a pin. You don't have to win. This is mainly because I want more people to play Weiss, and like seeing how welcoming the people there in Canada makes me want more people to give the game a shot. Because I think the thing about Weiss is that most people aren't willing to give it a shot because, you know, it's not as like pretty as other card games is what people say. So, and also having a good and positive community always makes it better. I think the Weiss community is like the nicest. Like I've played Pokemon, I've played Magic, I've played Wii Cross. What else have I played? I played Yugi. I've played a lot of card games over the years, and I think the Weiss community is the kindest ever. And if anything, my trip to Canada proves it. Like, it's crazy. This is like has been the most eventful trip. I'm not gonna say it's the most fun trip because my knees still hurt from walking down 27 flights of stairs. That's why I've been wording it on my Twitter like most eventful trip, not most fun trip, because the fire alarm going off and having to walk 27 flights of stairs is not fun. But this was the most eventful trip. I met a lot of cool people, and like my teammates and like the other dudes that travel also, like we all like had a fun experience, and things have I think this trip has probably changed them more than has changed me, because I'm still gonna be playing Ainz. Nothing's changed for me. But for Nick, but for Namian, but for Krillin, they're probably like, their brains are probably going crazy trying to figure out if they want to play a different deck or play their normal deck for Philly. So yeah, this, for me, I just had a fun experience in Toronto, and I look forward to going back. I'm an old lady, and like Namian is older than me. I think Krillin's younger than me, and so is Nick. But like we are like all 30 plus, so our knees were not happy about the experience. But like I have never wanted to go back to a different BCS location that badly. As I said, we were talking about possibly going back for Summerfest, and we don't normally travel for Summerfest. We usually only travel for BCS. We were thinking of traveling back to Toronto for Summerfest this year, just because Toronto was so awesome. The other locations we were thinking of going to was like Texas, because Namian and I have a buddy that lives in Texas. Basically Namian's vtuber mama lives in Texas, so we were planning on going to Texas, but like just to visit her. But like we did not plan on going back to Toronto for Summerfest. Like we never travel for Summerfest. Nick and his crew, like they travel around for Summerfest, but our crew never does. Me, Namian, and Krillin never travel, but Nick, Garrison, Joey, and them, they usually travel for Summerfest. But because Toronto has been so awesome, we might be going back Toronto for Summerfest. We'll see what happens, because we still have Philly to go through. Philly will be my last chance to go to Worlds, and if not, you know, there's always next time. I've already like hit one of the most important things off my bucket list, and that's topping at an event. Like this mat is from like the top 4 event for Summerfest, so I've at least checked that off my bucket list, and that makes me super duper happy. I'd like to top in Philly. If not, that's okay. I think I'll be playing Weiss Schwarz for as long as whatever. I'll probably stop traveling eventually because I am getting older, but I'll definitely still be playing. And like, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen if Ainz gets hit. I'll probably still be playing Overlord. As I said, I did run into some fun decks over the weekend. I ran into Azure lane, which was fun, which I might take a look at. But yeah, Philly will be my last chance for Worlds, and also get the missing pin, which will be hopefully easy, because a lot of people are going to Philly. The guys at my locals are all going to Philly. They were talking about how some of them forgot to book their tickets. So yeah, Philly is the closest Philly is the closest BCS location for anybody that lives in New York. So yeah, all the guys at my locals are probably going to Philly. So I will find them. And ask them if they have the secret pin, because I'm missing it right now. But I think we'll end stream here for today. I still have to edit my video for Georgia, and I have to do this video now for Canada. But the reason I want to do this stream was because my video is specifically for BCS. My video is specifically like event coverage for BCS, and a lot of the stuff that happened was not during BCS, so I didn't want to talk about it. Like I can't include visiting Gopher Game. I can't include the fire alarm going off in my video. because that's not BCS coverage. So I'm supposed to be covering BCS stuff for my video. So I wanted to do this just so I can talk about it, because I can't include it in my video because that's not BCS related. But I'm glad I was able to share all the fun that I had this weekend. There's probably some stuff I forgot. I'll look over my footage from when I was like rapidly talking after each round of Weiss Schwarz. So there's probably some stuff. But yeah, expect a video for Georgia and Canada eventually. There'll be editing that needs to be done, and I suck at editing. But yeah, I'm gonna go chill, get some food, get some liquids, because I've been talking this entire time. I've had this giant jug of tea next to me, but I haven't drank any of it, so maybe I didn't need to make it. But yeah, I will be back. I don't know when. But I'll be back for another stream another time. If not, there will be videos and stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'll probably put some timestamps because I did ramble. A lot of people just want to skim through and stuff. But yeah, I will see everyone next time. These are all the pins. This is what I pulled. That was from Lunar Cup at Go For Game. And I picked these up at the vendor. Have a good rest of your day, you guys. Oh, and if you guys play gacha games, I hope you have super duper good luck and pull whatever unit you're looking for. Bye!